California just tried to force every operating system, including Linux, to check your age at setup, but they might have accidentally saved Linux instead. A brand new bill, AB 1856, is racing through the legislature and could exempt the vast majority of Linux distributions from the controversial age verification law. In this video, I'm breaking down exactly what this means for Ubuntu, Fedora, Arch, and the entire open source world, and why this could be a huge victory for user freedom. Let's quickly recap what started all this. AB 1043, signed into law previously, requires operating system providers to add an accessible interface during account setup. Users would have to enter their birth date or age, and the OS would then send a digital age signal to apps, telling them whether the user is under 13, 13 to 17, 18 plus, etc. The goal? Protect minors from harmful content by making age verification part of the OS layer. For big companies like Microsoft, Apple, and Google, this is annoying, but doable. For Linux, it was a nightmare. Most Linux distros are community-driven or small team projects. They don't have centralized account systems. Many don't even have traditional installers with users set up in the same way. Forcing this would have required massive changes, potential forks, or even some distros just refusing to ship to California users. The compliance burden on volunteer maintainers and open source organizations was huge. A lot of people in the community were rightfully upset. Now here's where AB 1856 comes in. This amendment bill redefines two key terms to carve out big exemptions for open source. First, operating system provider. The new language says an operating system provider does not include a person or entity that distributes an operating system under license terms that permit a recipient to copy, redistribute, and modify the software. That's basically the definition of open source licenses like the GPL, MIT, Apache, etc. So traditional distros like Ubuntu, Fedora, Debian, Linux Mint, Pop! OS, Arch, Gentoo, and many others should be exempt. Second, application definition. It also narrows what counts as an application, including software components that aren't offered as standalone executables through a covered app store. This further protects pure open source systems. Now, who does this help? Almost all community and volunteer Linux distributions, other open source operating systems as well. Now, who it probably doesn't help? SteamOS, because it ships the proprietary Steam client and functions more like a covered app store. Also, any Linux-based system with heavy proprietary integrations or app store elements that fall under the original definitions. Sahash Raon, who helped with the amendment, aimed to address the Linux community's concerns. If passed, this should clear things up for the vast majority of desktop Linux users. This is a big deal for a few reasons. On the positive side, it respects the decentralized nature of open source. You can't realistically hold volunteer maintainers to the same standards as billion-dollar corporations. This prevents fragmentation. We don't want California compliant Linux forks versus others. This also preserves user freedom and the ability to modify and redistribute software. Now, the original law still stands for commercial players. SteamOS and similar systems may still need to comply. It sets a precedent that governments are willing to regulate how operating systems work at a deep level, which is still troubling. Overall, this feels like a pragmatic compromise. The open source community spoke up and lawmakers actually listened, at least partially. As of today, May 2026, AB 1856 has passed its second reading in the Assembly and is moving forward. It could be voted on by the full California legislature as soon as June. If it passes and is signed, the exemptions should take effect before the January 1st, 2027 deadline. If you're in California or care deeply about this, now is a good time to reach out to your state representatives and let them know you support this amendment. To wrap this up, AB 1856 looks like it will spare most Linux users from mandatory age verification at OS setup. It's not a full repeal of the age verification push, but it's a smart carve-out that recognizes open source is different. What do you think? Should open source software be completely exempt from these kinds of requirements? Or do you support age verification at the OS level? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit the like button, subscribe for more Linux news and tech policy videos, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. And if you'd like, my Ko-Fi link is in the description. You can buy me a coffee. It really helps me keep making Linux videos just like this. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.